Hey everyone, and welcome to Hemp in a Pan. Today, we'll be showing you how to make a hemp body butter. CBD, topical butters, creams, and lotions are used for a variety of medicinal reasons, and today, we'll be showing you how to make one of the easiest options, an infused body butter. Body butter is a thick, buttery moisturizer, and when infused with cannabis, will not only help with rejuvenating dry skin, but will also provide relief from inflammation and pain. Now, at its core, this product recipe only needs two ingredients, hemp and cocoa butter. Although optionally to soften the texture or to add an aroma, you can include coconut oil as well as essential oils, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So to start, you'll need to use a pound of cocoa butter for every ounce of hemp. Here, I'm using half a pound of cocoa butter with half an ounce of buds that just finished drying. I'm just leaving most of the plant intact because I'm lazy, but I'd recommend chopping up the buds first so that the smaller pieces have an easier time of infusing with the butter, and then adding it in after the cocoa butter melts. Now I'll put it over a double boiler, wait for the cocoa butter to melt, and then use a spoon to submerge the hemp into the butter before letting it sit for 2 hours. Be sure to top off the water in the pot if needed, and now 2 hours later, the CBD and the buds are infused with the butter. We'll need to take out the plant material from the butter, and for that, I'm using a strainer along with a coffee filter. Typically for consumables, I'll use a cheesecloth instead of a coffee filter, as it'll work much faster, but because I'm going to be using the butter as a topical and not as a consumable, I want to make sure that I catch all of the tiny plant particles, so I went with the slower but more effective option. Once it's almost done, I'll give it a good squeeze to get the last of the butter through, and now, as is, this will work as a basic body butter, although we still need to wait for it to cool down and solidify. You can leave it for a day to solidify on its own in a cool, dark place, or to quicken the process, I just put it in the refrigerator. And a few hours later, we have a solid block of infused cocoa butter. Because of how solid cocoa butter is, when you want to use it as is, you'll need to break off a piece of it and then rub it into the skin. Cocoa butter has a melting point of just below the human body temperature, so it will slowly melt when rubbed over the skin. To make things easier, you can always use something to make the pieces smaller, like a cheese grate. However, if you want a body butter that's easier to work with, then a simple solution is to mix it with coconut oil, which is a lot softer and has a lower melting point of around room temperature. To do this, I'm using 1 part infused butter along with 1 part coconut oil and put it back on the double boiler. Because this does dilute the CBD content in the body butter, you can use double the hemp when making the butter, or use the same process of combining hemp with coconut oil to make an infused coconut oil as well, before mixing the two. Now once both have melted, just give it a quick stir, take it off the heat, and when it's warm to the touch, here's where you can also add essential oils if you want to change the aroma of the body butter. I personally like the natural coconut and chocolatey scent, so I left it as is. But there are a lot of ways to complement these smells, such as with coffee or peppermint. Finally, store it in a cool place for it to solidify, and now you have a softer and quicker melting infused body butter. And that's it.